Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You see this face, you hear this voice. You know it's 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning and it's time for Solid Saturday. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in. Tag, like, share, share. Let's type good morning in the comments and come on, let's get in here. I'm excited. And I ain't got time to fool up with y'all today because I'm excited. So, you know what it is. Today is a great day to serve a great God. So let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Y'all come on in, say good morning. I'm just making sure everything is set up properly. And good morning, Erica. All right. I am not playing no games today. I'm not talking a lot. I'm going to do what I got to do so we can do what we all need to do and come and get what we came to get, which is encouragement in a whole new way, in a whole new vibe, right? So let me do the preliminaries, right? And y'all still come on in and say good morning, right? So, kingdom blessings, everyone. I am your host, Cherie Stevenson, your life strategist, and welcome to Solid Saturday. Solid Saturday is a platform of growth and encouragement that was birthed from the third installment of Unnamed and Unwanted the trilogy. I know who I am, the process to positivity. It is not the only process, but it is a process towards our bigger, better, greater. So we use this moment as a mirror, not to look at ourselves, but to look within ourselves through our weekly readings of aspirations, which are positive quotes, inspirations, which are positive scriptures, and affirmations, which we speak positively over ourselves. As a mentor and a guide, we help each other find joy and live life with intention and purpose. So again, I say good morning. Good morning. Again, I say kingdom blessings to the kingdom. Good morning, Rufus. Good morning, Shaka. You know, this is my temporary studio of 1490. What you see is what you get, and what you hear is exactly what you heard. It is what it is. This is live. This is not a replay. This hasn't been rehearsed. This is what we do every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. This is a platform, again, of growth and encouragement. And we challenge you to make a choice to change. Change is not the difficult part. It's the choice to do it. And this is what we do. And we kick negativities behind every week on this platform. So this is where we are. I'm going to do what we do. And we're going to jump right in because, well, I'll explain in my announcements, right? I make my announcements. I address some things to some people. And then we keep it pushing. So if it sounds like I'm rushing, I am. I have no warm-up story. I do have something to say to y'all, but we'll say it next week. Quick shout outs, quick announcements. You know, we're always praying. We're always praying. We never cease from praying. You know, we're praying for each other. Pray for me. Pray for my leaders. Pray for my church, Divine Destiny Cathedral, Bishop Jones and First Lady Jones. And if you don't know what to pray for them because they have to deal with me. Amen. We're always praying for my nanny and my dad. They're doing well. They're doing wonderful, but prayer never hurts. We're praying for Israel still, and we're praying for our government. Those are just the key things I like to acknowledge in our prayer time because that's what we need. What I will not rush is the prayer for government. I told you our code is for this year is blue looks good on you. We have to vote this year. Blue looks good on you. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but if you've been listening to the news or watching the news, you understand why I'm going to say it. every single Saturday. Blue looks good on you, right? So birthday shout outs. I don't have my noisemakers, but birthday shout outs. First and foremost, to my bishop. I can hear me talk about him all the time. Now we get to celebrate him. His birthday is tomorrow. Yay! So if y'all can do me a kind favor, either when you come on or you watch the replay or either on YouTube, can y'all just type in happy birthday, Bishop Jones, for me? Because that's my bishop. And I want him to know that we love him and we appreciate him for the times that he has been on the platform. And he will be back. I just haven't figured out how I want to do it. But he will be back. And also, his daughter Kyla, which is my little fashionista, I love her. His daughter Kyla's birthday was this week. And happy birthday, my love. Love you. And my bestie in the whole wide world, the widest world of the world, Christopher Wynn. He's my favorite pain in the neck. But that's what you get. That's what you get when you get Chris. I love him so much. Happy birthday, sir. His birthday was Friday. And I just want him to know that I love him and I support him as well. So happy birthday to everybody. To anybody else who's watching this live who have a birthday, happy birthday, happy anniversary. We celebrate you. So put it in the comments. If you know somebody that you want to say happy birthday to, say happy birthday. Put it in the comments. This platform is for everybody. It's the kingdom. This is why I call you my kingdom. It's just not about me and people I know. It's for all of us, right? So quick announcements. Really quick. Unnamed Unwanted, the trilogy. There's 2 more books to this. They're available on Amazon. My latest project, I co-wrote this book with my good friend Deron Linson. It's a cookbook with scriptures on why food is good and needed. Amazing project. He's a master chef. Look him up. Let me put up his book again so you can see. Right? The Love of Making Food. Master Chef Deron Jamel Linson. I had the pleasure of working with him on that. His book is also available on Amazon. I have my shopping network, which is on Spreadshop and Etsy. See my cute little band, Bigger, Better, Greater. Bigger, Better, Greater has a shopping network. We are online everywhere. Etsy. Get your 2024 aspirations, calendars, and journals. We have journals for the men and the women. The men and the women. See, men, I look out for y'all. I look out for y'all. I look out for y'all. Don't say nobody don't have y'all's back. You know, so get your things. Get your things. I'm trying to look out for y'all. Support me and encourage my web designer, whose name is Colleen Wright. And I'm going to keep saying that because she does amazing, amazing work. So, I said books. I said shopping. Yeah, that's all I got right now. So today, I'm super, super, super excited. And this last announcement is going to lead right into today's edition. If you got your notification, you see it says 4th Saturday edition of SOLACE Saturday. You know, if you've been watching, following Facebook and watching the posts, we have been promoting this really, really hard. And I am so excited about the expansion of SOLACE Saturday. On 4th Saturdays, we will have a guest, and he is going to give a broader perspective of positivity, if I can say it that way, because that's what we're about. We're about positivity in our journey, or on our journey towards bigger, better, greater. And a okay, so it's my cousin, right? So I may sound a little biased. So let's just get that out the way. It's my cousin, and I'm gonna be a little biased. So it is what it is, right? But um I told you before, he's a scholar, and I love the way he thinks, and he challenges me to broaden my horizons in thought and theory. And I love that because I have seen things differently and respectfully. And it's amazing. So I feel like we need a new sound. We need a new sound. And he has agreed to be with me on Solace Saturday every fourth Saturday. So this is not a one and done. This is not a hit and miss. You would get to witness this well of knowledge every fourth Saturday. Every fourth Saturday. Now, today, I have asked him to speak on something because it plucked all my nerves when he said it to me in the conversation. And I was just like, wow, I want to hear that. And I think I need people to hear that as well. Hey, Robin. And so he's going to speak on something specific for me. Now, I don't know what he's going to talk about next month. It is what it is. But I needed him to expand on something that he said to me. Y'all want to know what he said? Okay. So he said there's a difference between liberty and freedom. Okay. So I am, hey, Monda. So thank y'all for coming on. Thank you for tuning in. So with that, so I said that statement to a few people, and they was like, real? I never thought about. Yeah, you need to tune in to Solid Saturday. That's all. So if people miss it, they're definitely gonna watch the replay or find us on YouTube because people are very, very curious. But that's how he thinks, and I need that because that fuels me and gives me something to give to you. So without further delay, can we all just welcome our newest addition to Solid Saturday, Jamel Lewis? Woo!
Hey. What's going on, cuz?
Good
Good
morning,
morning, everybody.
Mel.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to be with y'all this morning. And I'm glad to be a part of Solid Saturdays. That's a major thing. So I'm just looking for the bigger, the better, the greater. And listen, let's take that journey. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Yes. Uh Now y'all do come on early, and I'm not an early bird,
No,
but
he's not. Thank
I'm
you.
learning.
I got you. We're gonna do
I
Lindenwood. I got you.
See, you know how to make everything better. You see
I
how that
got
works?
you. I got you. I got you.
So, wow. Well, we were. I think the last time I was on, we did have that discussion about freedoms versus liberties. It came up within a bigger discussion that we were having,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that we're living in a world today where people are just satisfied with the liberties that they have. They're very satisfied with the liberties that they're being given, and I think it's easy to become satisfied with those things because you have no responsibility attached to those things,
Mm-hmm.
because liberties are given from something or someone bigger or supposedly bigger than you. Uh, but in all actuality, when you really break down that word liberty, you begin to find out that the liberties are actually under the confines of another's construct.
Okay,
So,
pause. Be right there, because
yeah,
I need to make sure I'm understanding this.
yeah, yeah,
So liberties, you said liberties are given. So like employment, right?
yeah, yeah,
9 to 5. There's rules and
yeah,
regulations. They give you a lunch hour. They
yeah,
give
yeah,
you 15-minute breaks. They
yeah,
right. So those
yeah,
are that something like that can be
yeah,
considered as liberty, correct?
yes, yes,
Okay,
Yes.
continue.
See, and when you're given these liberties, the other liberties can be vacation days. The other liberties can be sick days. And you know, a lot of times we brag about the type of jobs. That was a great a great example. Sometimes we brag about those type of jobs, not realizing that they are giving us bits and pieces of what's already ours.
Mm.
How are you giving me 15 minutes of my life?
Come on, son.
How are you giving me vacation days when I have the right, because I was born with the right to go on a vacation at any time, any day I want? And a lot of times, we don't think about it, but those things are literally uh literally constructs of a prison.
I've been saying it for 14 years. My job was upgraded slavery because it made no
Yeah.
sense.
Let
It
me
didn't make sense. How you gonna tell me how sick I am? How you gonna
listen.
how you gonna deny, because that's why I quit? How you gonna deny me proper care for my health and my well-being?
You see what I'm saying, cuz? You see what I'm saying? And what people don't realize is that society is nothing but a pleasurable prison. It's a pleasurable prison. And here we have it. We feel like we're doing so much with the so little that they give us, which already belongs to us. You, when you relinquish your power to something else, that something else will then begin to control your life. It will begin to set up parameters over your life. It will begin to set the order of your life. And a lot of people are not understanding why they go through some of the things that they go through, why they deal with some of the things that they deal with. And it's because you've given the control of your life to something other than you.
Mm.
You've turned over the reins, the decisions of your life over to something other than you, and you put it on a pedestal of being something bigger than you.
Mm. Can On your screen, can you see the comments?
Uh, no, I cannot.
That's weird. My nephew said keeping us in a slave mentality and keeping control over the people.
Yes, most definitely. And that is the structure of our society. Our society is meant to keep us imprisoned. It's meant to keep us um what's a better word? I want to use a good word, a good SAT word, to keep us inebriated, and keep us in a state of fake happiness.
Mm.
It's a pseudo happiness because they'll give you these comforts and these conveniences that we think are comforts and conveniences, but no, really they are models of control. They are what is put over our lives to literally control our lives, to take away our right to choose, to take away our right to have a decision. What they'll say is, I can see the stuff coming up now. Yes, a
Okay.
state of delusion. It definitely is a state of delusion, and what happens is when we turn over those things, when we turn over that power that we have. The scripture always talked about. One of my favorite scriptures would say it would talk about the power that worketh in you. When we turn over that power that worketh in us, then someone else begins to work our realities. So they give us these liberties. They give us these liberties. And we as a people, we've gone as far as to say crazy things that we've heard said throughout history. Give me liberty or give me death. No, don't give me no liberty. I don't need to be given liberties. I was born with freedom. I was born free. I was born free. I was born in control. I was born in power. I was born in peace. I was born with the ability to shape my reality. You don't have to shape it for me. You don't have to do anything for me. You don't, when you begin to do things for me and I begin to depend on what you do for me, I imprison myself in your reality. I imprison myself to what you experience. I imprison myself to what you go through. And then I never get to experience who I am and what I bring to the table and the ideas that I have. And until we really learn how to disconnect ourselves from another's perspective and learn and buy into the perspective in us, we will always be living somebody else's lives, with somebody else's life, I should say. We will always be uh we will always be in a strange way trying to live our lives vicariously through another's experience.
So let me ask you this, right? With what you said, is that
Yeah.
a part of or can be identified as imposter syndrome? Because you don't know who you are, so someone else is able to project their thought their thought and theory of who you should be based on their perception of you.
I mean, it could be. It could be, you know. Um Sometimes the reason why I wouldn't use the word imposter is because a lot of times, mostly every time you hear the word imposter, it is something that people do consciously to
Mm.
control. You know, a lot of times people are just having they're just having someone's influence override their influence and they don't even realize it. Anytime you have someone's influence in your life greater than your own influence in your own life, you subject yourself to the things that they go through. You subject,
Consciously?
whether it's conscious or subconscious.
Okay.
You know, it becomes conscious when you hear it brought out to you. It becomes conscious when you begin to, oh, that's what's happening. But a lot of times we don't see it. And I'll give you a one thing that we all have gone through because we've all come through church. You know, we've all grown up in church. You know, in church we subject our lives to the lives of those who lived in Scripture, and we
Mm.
begin to say, well, Paul said, and Job went through this, and Jesus said, and I'm like, okay, Jesus, Job, Paul, all of them had their own experiences. What about you? Jesus didn't come so that you can get to know him. Jesus really came so you could get to know you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because we have a lot of people that know all the facts behind Jesus and know all the facts behind, how he lived and what he did in his life. At least they think they do. And in turn, what they do is that they overlay the model of his life on their life, which is good to an extent because the way I describe Jesus, I call him Yeshua because that was his name, Yeshua. You know, as I describe Yeshua, he was the mastermind. So whenever I read in scripture about Jesus, I don't hold it as the end all be all. And I know people are looking like, oh, you going crazy, bro. What are you saying? I don't hold it as the end all be all, because what Jesus did, what Yeshua did for his life was for his life. That was his mission. If I overlay his mission over onto my life, then I erase my mission. And what I was meant to do, I don't get to do.
But that coincides with scripture where it says that we're supposed to do greater works.
It does. But you know, we're not taught that way. We're taught that we're going to when they say greater works, they preface it like this: you're going to do greater in number, not greater in power.
Mm.
But then I wonder, but if that be the case, so what you're saying is that there is a limitation to what God can do through me. You're saying that there is a limitation to what God can use me, what the divine spark can do through me as me. And it doesn't make sense, because if Yeshua, who was our elder brother, a lot of people out there going, you know, they done raised him up to being God. And this is another thing, you know, I say a lot of things that are very controversial to people, but Jesus did not go to the temple to worship himself. Jesus went to the temple to worship something that was bigger and greater than him. But we've elevated Jesus to the deity of being the universal God. And that's not what I see in scripture, you know. And yes, he left basic information before leaving Earth. Yes. And the thing is, we have not tapped into that information because we've overlaid all of our lives with everybody in scripture. We've become Moses, we've become Paul, and we wonder why we go through the trial. I don't know why they don't like, I don't know why I'm persecuted so much. I don't know why, because you're living their lives.
Mm.
When you begin to do what you were called to do here in the earth, maybe persecution isn't part of that. Maybe the persecution that you will suffer will not come from what you think is sustaining you. What I mean by that is, a lot of times we're, especially within any religious construct, we are persecuted within that construct because we won't live according to how they want us to live. My journey in life is not predicated on a book. My journey in life is predicated on the experience that I have between me and the Father, me and that divine spark that's in me. Because God lives in us, through us, as us. Each of us. We are all individualizations of that one God. We are all living. You are God with a Sharice mask on. I am Jamel. I am God with a Jamel mask on. Erica
and
Parker.
This is where freedom is.
Yes. See, when you begin to understand who you are, when you really begin to understand who you are, it frees you to create. You cannot create while stuck in another man's idea.
Come on, sir.
You cannot create because you are stuck under the confines of another's idea you have raised above your own.
And even if you try, you're going to fail because that's not your idea. That's his idea.
Well, not always. Sometimes, a lot of times, people do great executing other people's ideas because they know how to put things together and make things work. I'll use you as an example. Years ago, when I had a group called Rapture, you were the administrator, and if I had an idea, you knew how to put it together and make it work. You knew. You knew this is what we're gonna do, and when we do it like this, and I'm telling you, watch and see how it works. You know, but at some point, you had to leave rapture. You had to leave where you were to become who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a word to somebody. You have to leave where you were to become who you are. And if you're really trying to become all that you can be, there are certain things that you're going to have to let go, certain people and things and ideas and that you got to let go in order to grow. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, I agree with Sinnerhood. She says a lot of people don't know themselves. That's why it's hard for them to be themselves. So they only know what they've been taught or told, and it's the truth. It's the truth. So you're experiencing what it's like to be everybody else but you.
Mm.
You do your experience. Your joy is connected to another's dream instead of you fulfilling something in your life that was a dream to you. So at some point, at some point, we have to learn how to live in the freedom of life that we are born with. You are born free. You are born into the freedom of I can. But when you're stuck under somebody else's versions of life, I can't comes up a whole lot.
Okay, pause for 1 second because you know there's somebody that's gonna quote scripture, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm devil's advocate right now because I feel it. I feel it in my spirit. So you
Okay.
just said we were born free, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know the scripture said that we was born into sin.
Well, most people don't know what sin is.
Mm.
If you ask the average Christian, they have no idea what sin is. They have no idea. They'll tell you that sin is a wrongdoing. You did something wrong, and that's what sin is. No, that is not what sin is. That is not what sin has nothing to do with uh, uh, wrongdoing. Sin is separation. It's separation. Uh, if I was to say, uh, give me give me a tomato without pepper on it, I would say, what? Dame un tomato. I can't even remember how to say tomato. Dame un tomato sin
Mm-hmm.
pimenta. The word sin is without. It means separate the pepper from the tomato. I don't want them together. And that's what sin is. Sin is separation. The word sin is actually an archery term. It's when you have shot the arrow, but you did not hit the target, the middle piece. You didn't. So you are said to have sinned the mark. You
You
missed
missed the
the
mark.
mark. That and it wasn't that you did wrong. You missed the mark. You were separated from that goal. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Neff? Good to see you, nephew. So here we are. Most people don't know what sin is. They think sin is transgression, and transgression and sin are two different things. To transgress something is to violate something. It's to it's to do something wrong. It's to accost something. That is not sin. Sin is to be separated. That's why he says, be angry, but sin not. Yeah, you might be angry with each other, but don't let it separate you. See, we think that, oh, we have to be angry, but we can't say certain things because or do certain things because it might hurt them. No, it's saying whether you have a fist fight, whether you curse each other out, at the end of the day, after you have got all that anger out, don't let it separate you. Don't let it divide you. So again, We don't know a lot of what we're talking about because we define these words and use them so wrong. I call it Christianizing a word. You
Mm.
know, we Christianize the word instead of having the actual definition of that word. And your life is controlled by how you define it. If you define something in the wrong way, you will have the wrong experience. A lot of times we've defined situations that come up in our lives the wrong way, and we have these wrong experiences. I'll give you an example. Uh, a lot of times things happen in our lives that may seem to be hard to bear, hard to go through. And the first thing that the Christian mind says is, oh, the devil. The devil is and the devil that. We done wrote songs about it. The devil's on my back, trying to turn me back. Gotta make this journey somehow, somehow. And as we sing these songs, the songs that our ancestors sung, we tie ourselves to their experience. They had to make that journey somehow. They didn't know how they was going to make it through slavery. They didn't know how they was going to make it through these underground railroads, trying to make it through these fields at night in the dark. They're singing these songs for different meanings. But today we still sing these songs, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but we should sing them with a knowledge, with a
An
wisdom, or with
understanding.
an understanding
Hmm.
of why they were being sung. Somehow I've got to make this journey somehow. Devil's on my track. You're inviting a devil to chase you down. Devil's on my track. A deceiver, a deceptive thought, something that devalues you. I don't have any devils on my track. I don't have a devil trying to turn me back. What I have are challenges that are making me grow.
Ooh, that's good.
What I have are situations that are teaching me how to work the power that's in me. When we begin to reword these things, it begins to produce different outcomes for our lives. But because we keep on putting ourselves into the boxes of different people's experiences, we never get to experience the freedom of our life. And Jesus, this Yeshua. This this was the funny thing about what he did. Again, people preach and teach that he came to save souls. He came to make you whole. No, what he came to do is to show you exactly who you were. The way I can create, you can create too. The way I can heal, you can heal too. The way I can make whole, you can too. Punch and punch. What the kids used to say when we was young? I can do it too. Punchinella, punchinella. You know what I'm saying? Like we when we understand that, yeah, yeah. When we understand that we can do it too, then we can really begin to live life in the freedom. We can't live life in freedom because we are imprisoned by the liberty of one's definitions, by the liberties of one's control. I don't need you to define life for me. I don't need you to define life for me. I need if you're someone who's to mentor me, your job is not to define life for me. Your life is to teach me how to define life for myself. Because my life and your life are two different things. We go through two different things. But then when I allow your experience to override the things I'm going through, then I become you in another body.
And you also become limited.
Yes. Most definitely. And I constantly say that we are the masters of limitations. We are the masters of limitations. You know what I'm saying? We don't allow ourselves to experience the more than. We don't allow ourselves to experience the boundless work of who we are. We are a boundless work. In us, the hope of glory. Hope says that there's future. Hope speaks to a future, but you cannot have a future in another's experience. You disconnect yourself from your future. You disconnect yourself from your hope, riding on somebody else's hope. Because then when you like, it's like someone telling someone, if you meet me at this point, I'll break you out of this prison. And then they get so happy, they tell you, yo, I'm getting out. I'm on a prison break, bro. You got to come with me. You'll come with me. And then you go with this person and you so excited about this prison break that's about to happen for the both of you. And then when you get there, the guy goes, who's this? Oh, this is just one of the dudes that's my boy in prison. Oh, he coming with us. You're like, bro, I only have room for one. So now, because you are riding on somebody else's hope, you find yourself out in the cold when it comes time to make it past or break out into freedom. You find yourself out in the cold because you are riding on someone else's hope. When you break out of your prison, when you break out of whatever, you've got to break out on the hope that was given to you. You have to break out on the expected end that was presented to you. And until we do that, we continually find ourselves being miserable. You want to know why so many people are miserable and mean and cantankerous? Is because they're living everybody else's life. They're believing everybody else's definition about who they are. They're believing everybody else's vision for their life. And people would rather do that than be free, because freedom means responsibility. Freedom means responsibility. When I'm given liberties, the responsibility is on you. You got to do this. But when I'm living a free life, now I'm responsible. I have to work the power that's in me. I got to get up and stop being lazy. I've got to make it happen. And that's how I see Christianity. It's gotten to be the laziest of all religions. We want to do all the dirt possible, all the stupidity possible. We want to make fun of our own people, tear down our own people, and then wonder why. It's that darn devil. It ain't no devil. You the devil. You deceiving yourself. You're devaluing yourself. It's you. It's you. You until we move in the wisdom of freedom, until we bear the responsibility of freedom, we will always be whipped by an oppressive system. We will always be whipped. We will always be under the thumb of an oppressive system. And the system isn't ran by many. It's not ran by many. It's ran by a select few. But because we enjoy the comforts, we enjoy the conveniences of these liberties. Oh, yes, yes, I've been given 2 weeks vacation by my job. Oh, yes, the bonuses are wonderful. And they're paying you $40,000 a year, while off of your work, they're making millions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, it's a sad state of affairs. It's
You said, I'm sorry,
no, go
you
on.
said the wisdom of freedom. I need you to elaborate on that, please.
Yes. There is a wisdom that comes with freedom. There is a wisdom that comes with freedom. See, when you're given liberties, you just follow instructions. You just follow instructions. Thank you, Linda. And as you follow these instructions, you get what they want to give you. But in following the instructions, there is no room to deviate to make the instruction better or to make it come out. Ooh, ooh. You ever been on a job where someone said, "Hey, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do X, Y, and Z." And then when you look at X, Y, and Z, you go, "Wait a minute. But if you do this, you can have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. You can have all of that if you just do this." And then I just asked for X, Y, and Z. There's no room. You're not allowed to create. You're not allowed to walk in there is an intrinsic wisdom in freedom, because you begin to work things out. You begin to calculate things. You begin to allow yourself to have these moments of experimentation where, oh, if I did it this way, but what if I did it this way, then it can, and you having all of these wonderful aha moments that you have to box up and put to the side just to do exactly what they want. You don't get to work the wisdom of your freedom. You don't get to work. I'll give you an example. If a prisoner makes a jailbreak, most prisoners are going to work the wisdom of that newfound freedom. They're going to lay low. They ain't going to talk to a lot of folks. They're gonna work under the radar until they can get to a place where the prison that they were in no longer has any power to affect them. They're going to make wise decisions. Someone could get up in their face and the decision, like, I have to be wise and I can't engage because I know I just got out of prison and I know that they're looking for me because they want to bring me back into that prison. So I have to use my wisdom and say, "Sir, I'm sorry. It's my fault. Go ahead. You win. You win. You got it." That wisdom of staying out of the radar gets them closer to their goal of being completely free. But when you are still trying to run prison rules in the free world, you automatically end up going back to prison. Automatically. Yeah, you was beating cats up in prison, you was stabbing people up in prison, you come out of prison and you free now and you back to stabbing somebody up. Because you haven't released yourself from the prison mind. You still looking for liberties. You still looking for recess. You still looking for the hour to go out and be out out there where everybody can just have their hour of free time and then get back into their prison. You looking for somebody to wake you up. You looking for somebody to say, "Oh, you can use the bathroom now." Instead of you saying, "You know what? I'm free. I just gotta now the responsibility." Wisdom will make you responsible. The responsibility of your freedom. The wisdom, it begins to make you responsible because you start to say, "I can't do that if I don't want to go back in that prison. I can't." There's some prisons you really don't want to go back to. It means that now you have to operate in wisdom and not do the things that you did while you were in prison. Some people are still, Black men, Black women, especially in this era where the relationship issue is so ridiculous. You still trying to work the freedom of this new relationship from the prison mindset of the last one you was in. So now the relationship that you're in now begins to suffer and dissolve because you're still stuck in the prison of the last relationship. How did the scripture say? It said uh, uh, that we must renew our minds. Renew, to make it new again. You got to have a new thought about the places you're trying to go to. You have to have a new thought about the places you're trying to experience and the things you're trying to experience. If I'm in a new relationship, if I go in filled with terror about how the last person did me and this one could do me that way, you're going to create a scenario where that terror can manifest because you're already going in it with that mindset. See, this is man's cheap delusion. Man's cheap delusion is his conviction that there are other causes other than the state of consciousness.
Mm.
Everything happens in your life because of the way you think it to happen. You could have been broken out of the prison, but if the prison hasn't been broken out of your mind,
Mm-hmm.
you are still in a prison. We have to break the chains in our minds, break the chains on our hearts. We have to be responsible for our freedom. Yes, Linda Stallings. We have to be responsible for our freedoms because once somebody get a hold of your freedom, they will use you till they use you up. They will destroy your life, building a life for themselves. They will tell you just how wrong you are. Yes, overseer, how a man thinks, so is he. They will tell you exactly what they want to tell you so they can get out of you what they want to get out of you. But at some point, you have to begin to say, no, no, no. I've done a lot of work for you. I've done a lot of things for you, but now it's time for you to move, time for me to move on. I have to move and walk in the power of my freedom. I don't want no more liberties. I'll take the responsibility. I'll take the work that comes with the responsibility. You have to work on yourself. Okay, let me talk to Sinnerhood. Let me talk to Sinnerhood. I feel
That's
you
my
on everything.
nephew.
Okay, no doubt. That's when the growth kicks in. But it's a constant fight between right and wrong. You have to learn. There's nothing to prove what you have to lose. You really have to break the chains. I agree with 95% of what you said. What I want to tell you is when we talk about right and wrong are really just, I call right and wrongs paradox because there really are no right and wrongs. It's just paradox. It's not this or that. It's this and that.
Mm.
You have to, in order to have a full experience, you have to be able to choose between this and that and not feel guilty about the choice you make. Because the choices you make can be unmade. The choices you make, if I make a mistake along the way, if I knew I was supposed to go left up the street and I made a right, okay, I made a right. Next time I just course correct. You have the power to course correct.
Mm.
You have that power to course correct. There are no wrong turns in life. You are living the life you are meant to live. You're experiencing the things you are meant to experience. Those choices brought you there for a reason and a purpose. There was something you had to learn from it. There was something you had to remember from it. There was something that you had to reconnect to understand exactly who you are. All of it works for you. Nothing works against me. Everything works for me. That's that freedom. That's that freedom. And when we don't realize how traumatic we make our own lives by the way we think about our own lives.
Mm.
Yeah, this person did this to me, and I was just, yo. There was a time where I was always brokenhearted because I was always getting done wrong by these chicks. You know what I'm saying? Until I flipped my mind and said, wait a minute. Maybe it's not the women.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's the way that I'm not respecting myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was younger, most men are always taught by their mothers and their big sisters and stuff how to cater to women, how to no, you can't hit no girl. If she hit you, you don't hit her back. Oh no, you can't what's the other one they would say? Oh, she only likes you, she only hitting you because she like you. And so we as men growing up in our younger formative years, we allow girls to do all types of craziness to us. And we hear the adults say, oh, she just likes you. And then when you get to a point where you in your teens and women kind of understand how to, oh, so if I do this, this is what happens. Oh, if I do this, this is what happens. Oh, I'm gonna control this little boy right here. Oh yeah. And next thing you find a man's first heartbreak happens because he's like, why did she do this to me? Mom told me if I treated her this way, if I did things like this is what would happen. It's not until you grow up and leave those concepts and begin to really learn, oh no, you can't hit me. You can't put your hands on me. That's not allowable. I can't let you abuse me. A lot of times we've let people and systems abuse us in the name of a greater cause, in the name of love. Oh, she just likes you. It's you have to go through all of that because it's the way God makes you. He prunes you. No, pruning doesn't always have to be a painful process. And it definitely doesn't have to be an abusive process. I don't have to abuse myself by sitting under this foolishness you're talking. A lot of times we sit under leadership and people who are abusers, and we take those abuses and we try to make them in our minds to be, I gotta suffer the rain. If I suffer, I'll reign. If I No, 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 no. Jesus paid it all. If he took all that suffering, why do I have to take all that stuff? He took it for me. The mastermind took it all for me. Yeshua took it all for me. So now our lives should look a lot different. We should be having joyful lives, peaceful lives, powerful lives, but we're not because we're stuck under this teaching that only gives you slivers of hope, slivers of, here, let me cut you off a little piece of hope, and this will get you to the next step, the next stage. No, I don't need your hope. I don't need you cutting me off slivers of hope. I'm already free. I've been born free. I've been born free. I've been born free. I have to be transformed by the renewing of my mind, though. I can't experience that freedom until I'm transformed by the renewing of my mind. My thoughts cannot change until I have a new idea. Your thoughts cannot change until you have a new idea. You have to have a new idea about you. You have to have a new idea about what you want in life. You have to have a new idea about things concerning you. The first step in the renewing of the mind is desire. You have to allow your desires to be rewritten. A lot of times the things that we desire aren't the things that are necessary, and they destroy us. Hey, good morning, Pastor Andy. Good to see you, man. we've got to make our future dream a present fact.
That is so good.
We have to, but we can't make our future dreams present facts because we're stuck in the past of things we've gone through in the past that have enslaved us in the past, that have positioned us to always come back to something that has somehow held power over us. I don't need you to hold power over me. I have the power. And according to this power, I have to now walk in wisdom. If you begin to work the power that's in you, it will cause you to walk in wisdom and responsibility because you recognize that if I use this power wrong, I can destroy myself and somebody else.
Right.
We got to realize that we've got to want to be different and intend to be different before you can go and change yourself. There has to be intention in you that says, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to be like this. I don't care what you it's like a it's like a hole leaving its pimp.
Right. That's a good example.
I know you give me money every so often, but I can make all this money all on my own and make all of it. That's the first stage. Then you start to realize I don't even have to be out here on the streets hoeing. I can save my body. And you begin to do something else. You begin to wait a minute. Could it be that I I've really been neglecting all these gifts that I have? Like I can sew. I can be a fashion designer. I but the fashion designer in you is being held back by that mentality of being subservient to something over you that only uses you for itself. I don't care if it's the church, because the church, let me tell you now, whole lot of pimps in the church. Whole lot of churches are doing a whole lot of pimping, and a whole lot of congregants ain't nothing but hoes. And it's the truth of the matter. And we have to relieve ourselves by thinking differently about ourselves. And intentionally saying there's something I want different. No, I don't need you to lay your hands on me. I don't need you to lay your hands on me. Teach me how to find God for myself.
Yes.
You when you begin to change what you feel and how you feel about you begin to change the outcome of your life. That's why it's important to have a command of your feelings instead of your feelings controlling you. We have to. If our feelings control us, you know what happens? We find ourselves back in the prison. When we allow our feeling, you ever seen these crimes of passion? Sane people, but they got together and they didn't know how to control their feelings. And guess what? These two sane free people are driven insane back into a prison. And now you're back in this prison where people can give you liberties. People can they'll do it this way. If you do it this way, I guarantee you it'll work out for you. And then you realize that no, it works out for you, not really for me. But when you begin to when you walk in the freedom, let me say this, and I say this often. Uh, Jesus never asked for worshipers. Jesus asked for followers. Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. But we've turned it into worship because when you're a worshiper, there are two forms of worship, and I was teaching this uh, to my church.
Yeah, we gonna
Um,
ooh, are you gonna do it now? Because that's gonna be another platform. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it now. Don't do it now,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
We're
I
gonna
won't.
save that. We're gonna
I
save
won't.
that. Just
All right.
listen, Kingdom. Put a pin in that thought, cause see, this is how I get caught all the time, and then we're on the phone for 4 hours. So, and it's already after 9 o'clock. So I need
Yeah,
you to do me a favor. I need you to just sum up for me the basics of the difference between liberty and freedom, because I want them to leave with that concept.
definitely. Liberties are given by someone you feel is bigger than you, by someone that you have put on a pedestal to be more important than you, and sometimes by things that have imprisoned you. They give liberties, conveniences, and comforts. But freedoms are the things that you are born with. You are born free. You are born with the freedom to create. You are born with the freedom to maneuver, and you are born with the freedom to live life on your terms. When you're living under the liberty of another, you have to live life on their terms to receive the liberties. But when you live life according to the freedom, you live on your term. And not only do you live on your term, you can't fail when you're living in freedom.
Hmm.
Everything becomes a lesson when you're living in freedom. I've learned how to build on things that didn't turn out as successful as I thought it should. But I built on it, and I built on it, and I built on it because I was free to. I was free to make the mistake. I was free to choose what I chose because it led me to building me. So I'll leave it right there.
Listen, the people don't want to leave. I don't want to cut off, but I try to stay within the hour.
Yeah,
But this
definitely.
has been amazing. First of all, you got my nephew on here talking. So I know this was already needed and well received. So, for all my new viewers, thank you for watching and tuning. Please tune in next month. He is here every fourth Saturday. This was just day one. And we were off to a great start. This has been the platform of Solace Saturday. I am your host, Cherie Stevenson. And this is what we're going to do. This is a part of the bigger, better, greater. I always try to be the first partaker of what I present to the people, what I challenge the people to become. So 2024, we said no more in 2024. We're going after what we want and what we feel we deserve. But I want to challenge their mindset. And you have done that today. So they still talking. I'm trying to wrap up and they still posting comments. So
Hey,
this is really, really good. So listen, he's here. He's locked in every fourth Saturday, 8 a.m. You will hear this man of God, this man of wealth and wisdom. And it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I see that you have all enjoyed it, and he has enjoyed it. And I wrote down where we left off. We was getting ready to talk about two types of worship, so we may have to pick up on that when you come back. But thank you for being willing and available to do this with me to encourage and support my kingdom of Solid Saturday. I love and appreciate you so much. Again, thank you all
thank
for
you.
tuning in.
Thank you,
Hope to
Craig.
see y'all next Saturday when he ain't here. But no, my followers are pretty cool. I love my people. This is why I
I
want to
know it.
give them something more because they want it. My bishop taught me if the people are hungry, feed them.
Yeah,
So this is a new dish.
yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
love it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am overwhelmed. You know I am. But this is what we get. This is part of Solid Saturday, y'all. So I know y'all enjoyed it. And I know y'all will be back. Invite somebody. Invite somebody. Share this platform. Continue to tag, like, share. Leave your comments. I read them all. I respond to all of them. And I will let Jamel know what you guys are saying. Let me put up this last one from Victoria Boomer Harris. Thank you for joining us. I think you said she was an elder or a pastor.
No, she's an overseer.
To Overseer, thank you,
Yes.
Overseer Harris, for joining us today. I appreciate you. Hope to see you again.
Thank you,
Those
Overseer. I appreciate you.
those other pastors and elders that were on, thank you for joining. Those who will watch the replay, thank you for joining. Those who will watch YouTube, thank you for joining. And until next Saturday, y'all stay safe and stay encouraged. Love you, Mel.
Love you.
Bye, everybody. Mwah.